What if three of the world's most influential holy books, the Torah, the Gospel, and the Quran, weren't rivals at all? What if they were actually just different volumes in a single divine library? It's a pretty fascinating idea, so let's dive in. So this whole concept we're exploring is called the divine library. And what's really interesting is that this is an Islamic theological perspective. It frames the Torah and the Gospel not as, separate or foreign texts, but as earlier divine revelations, all coming from the exact same source as the Quran.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to unpack this core idea of the divine library. Then we'll properly meet the three holy books themselves. After that, we'll dig into their shared heritage, make sense of this idea of a divine sequence, and finally, we'll talk about why this whole library metaphor really truly matters today. Let's get started.
All right, part one, the divine library. Let's really get to the heart of what this is all about.
This single sentence right here, this is the key that unlocks the entire metaphor. It's the absolute central pillar of this perspective. The idea is that Muslims recognize both the Torah and the Gospel as divine books sent by God. So it's not about which book is better, but it's about acknowledging a shared divine origin. That recognition is the crucial point.
So now that we've got that core idea down, let's actually meet the three distinct volumes that make up this divine library.
First up, we have the Torah. For Judaism, this is the foundational text, right? It contains the laws and the story given to Moses. In this divine library concept, you can think of it as the first major volume on the shelf. Next in the collection is the Gospel, or what's known as the Injil in Arabic. Now, this refers to the revelation given to Jesus, which, of course, forms the core of the Christian New Testament. It's the second key volume in our shared library.
And finally, we have the Quran. This is the central holy text of Islam, which was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad. Within this framework, it's considered by Muslims to be the final and complete revelation in this series, really confirming the core message of the books that came before it. Okay, so we have our three books, but how exactly do they connect? That brings us to our third section, understanding their shared heritage and, well, how these bookshelves are all linked. And this is where it all starts to click. When you look at it from this Islamic perspective we're exploring, the Torah and the Gospel aren't just historical texts from other faiths. No, they're explicitly recognized as divinely sent books with the same status as the Quran. It's this shared status that transforms them from just separate books into a connected library. So what are the threads that tie them all together? Well, first, a common origin, God. Second, they share a common purpose, to provide divine guidance for humanity. And third, they all belong to this common family of faiths we call the Abrahamic traditions, all tracing their lineage back to the prophet Abraham. It's a really powerful framework of connection. But this isn't just a random assortment of books. There's a perceived order to them. And that brings us to the divine sequence, this idea of a single, unfolding story. This timeline really helps visualize the sequence of revelation as one continuous narrative. The story kicks off with the Torah, revealed to Moses. It continues with the Gospel, revealed to Jesus. And it concludes with the Quran, revealed to Muhammad. It's a very clear chronological progression. So what does the sequence really imply? It suggests that these aren't three separate competing messages. Not at all. Instead, they represent an ongoing conversation, a continuous stream of divine communication with humanity. Each book kind of builds on the one before it. It's like one long story told in three major parts. So we've got the concept, the books, the connections, and the sequence. But so what? Why does any of this matter today? And that brings us to our final section, the bigger picture. This visual really drives the point home, doesn't it? It shows the Torah, Gospel, and Quran as these coexisting pillars of revelation, each one standing on equal ground. It's not a hierarchy of good, better, best. It's a shared foundation. And thinking about it this way has huge implications for how followers of these faiths can see one another. So what are the big takeaways here? Well, by seeing these books as part of one library, the whole relationship between Judaism, Christianity, and Islam gets reframed, not as one of opposition, but of continuation. This highlights a shared spiritual ancestry and creates a powerful foundation for interfaith dialogue. And honestly, it really helps explain the worldview of over 1 billion Muslims who see these incredible faiths as part of one big family. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. If we truly imagine these foundational texts as different chapters from a single divine library, how might that change the way we read them?
And maybe more importantly, how might it change the way we understand the people who cherish them? It's a powerful question about connection, about narrative, and about our shared human story.